What's going on YouTube? We got a new video. It's your boy Logisticalstyles coming at you. And this time we're doing something a little different. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a question from one of you out there, one of you, the viewers. You had a question and you posted it on the comments of my last video. And I thought it would make a good topic for this video. So I'm just gonna go ahead and come up with an answer or give you my opinion on where I think you should go with it. So let's go ahead and get into this video right after the jump. Okay, so we're back, and here is the question that we got from one of you out there, Ortiz, about 2 days ago. Sent in a question and said, hey, I've been DJing since 1980 and dropped out in the late 90s. I'm from the Technics 1200, 1600, and 1800 URI mixer, etc., etc. I've been away for a minute, but I want a good quality setup. I know you need your laptop for your collection, but what do you recommend for a nice room setup? I'm familiar with Serato, but I don't know a good mixer or controller. I like the Heath equipment. All right, so in this particular situation, I think it's going to be important to take into consideration the fact that you're from that old school era and you're used to turntables. So I would say your best bet would probably be to go ahead and get yourself another set of turntables. And right now you can get them from a wide range of places for a wide range of prices. But if you're a vet and you've been DJing for a while, you know what made the Technics 1200 so special and such a great tool for DJs. So I would think you would probably go in that direction or get something that actually ticks all those boxes that the 1200 ticked off, but also has some other features that are suitable for modern DJing with Serato. So you have options. You have like turntables from Reloop. You have turntables from Pioneer. You have these right here. I use the Range 12s. They're not actually turntables, but they are decks that spin and have a motorized platter and have all the functions that you would normally see on a turntable outside of what you would have on a tone arm, but everything else is there, plus a little bit more for the modern DJ that uses Serato or any other DVS program. Since you're an old school DJ, you know what you need to do. I would say go ahead and get a set of turntables, and then I think your next thing to do would be to find a mixer. Now, since you did mention that you do like the Allen and Heath mixers, I think we should go over those real quickly, since those might be the direction that you really want to go into. The Allen and Heath mixers, your choices are, you have the DB2, the DB4, and then the 43C. The DB2 and the DB4 are the ones that have the little LCD screen on it that allow you to dial in your effects and get your BPM set up correctly. The 43C does not have LCD display or any kind of display. You just have your LED lights that show up for the volume meters and your on-off buttons. But what you do have with each of these mixes is there 4 channels. So these will allow you to open up the 4 decks when you are mixing in Serato DJ. Right now with my 70, you only have 2 channels. So I don't get the option to open up the other channel 3 and channel 4 like I used to have even with my SR2. I could open up 4 decks and do 4 deck mixing. Even though it only had 2 faders, you could assign them to different channels. That option is only available to hardware that's capable of doing 4 channels, and in this case the Allen and Heath stuff actually is capable of doing 4 channels. From what I've been researching, it looks like the 43C is the one that's the most recent one, or the most current one, and it seems like that's the one that you can probably get easier. The DB2 obviously is an older one than the DB4 is the one that came after it. But I think you should really look into those mixers if you want to go that direction. They are Serato enabled, and they do give you the option to do a paid upgrade, which will allow you to be able to use the DVS functions and all the other expansion packs that come along with it. So I would say go ahead, if you already have the club kit or if you already have a DVS license, then you're good to go with those mixers. Otherwise, you'll probably have to do some paid upgrade in order to use the Allen and Heath stuff. But moving on to the next mixers available, we have mixers from Pioneer, we have mixers from Rain. So there's other options. Reloop, there are other mixers out there that you can use that are Serato enabled. Just go to the Serato website and you can see a full list of all the devices that are compatible with Serato. It's a very exhaustive and thorough list. You'll see a lot of equipment there. And a lot of this equipment also is generally available to work with Virtual DJ. And then if you want to use some of Rekordbox, I'm not sure if that's even a thing anymore, as to being able to cross-use them. I think Rekordbox has its own hardware that works with its software. But if you like me and you are able to use Virtual DJ or Serato DJ Pro, then you can look at this list of devices and find the one that's right for you. Now, another consideration to take into account is, where are you going to be using this equipment? Are you going to be doing gigs? Are you going to be doing gigs at restaurants or bars or clubs? Are you going to be doing mobile gigs where you're doing weddings? You know, a lot of that takes into account as well into the decision that you make, because if you're doing the mobile scene, if you're doing specifically if you're doing the clubs, if you're doing bars that have a sound system, if you're doing one of these establishments that have a plug-and-play system where you just come in with your laptop and your decks and you plug into a mixer board or you plug into some jacks on the wall and you are able to use their sound system, then you probably want something that's going to be a lot more portable, but at the same time you want something that's going to have the proper connections to be able to connect to just about anything in a professional environment. So there's a couple of things you could do, but you have to answer some more questions. What are you going to be doing with your DJ equipment? That's the main question you need to ask yourself. Are you going to be doing mobile gigs? Are you going to be doing just DJing at home, making mixtapes or streaming live on Twitch or doing Facebook Live videos or whatever? Are you going to be doing pop-up events, corporate events? Are you going to be doing bars and restaurants and lounges? A lot of these different type of gigs that you get can really determine what type of equipment is best for that situation. Now, I know when you are buying your setup, you have to choose, and eventually, you know, you may get some extra money and buy options, so you don't always have to bring out the full setup. And that's where I'm at right now. I have this full setup. I'm thinking about getting the case that carries one deck and one mixer. I think the case is kind of expensive though. I mean, they're a bit overpriced in my opinion. I'm seeing them for like $285 for a case to be able to carry a deck and a mixer, but I could spend $250 and go and get me a SB2 or SB3, which would be perfect for the smaller situations that I walk into. So that's your answer, or that's my answer to you. You know, think about what it is you want to do as far as DJing. Think about where you're going to be at, and then if you can get a little bit more specific, then I can give you a better idea. But I'll tell you this way, if you're going to be mobile and need to be in and out of different places, a controller with an all-in-one controller is going to be what you want. And then you can choose whether you want to go with a Rain 1 for the moving platters, or you want to go with one of the Pioneer controllers. If you're going to be at home, it might be wise to get you a simple setup like some turntables that you can trust, and you might be able to find a really good deal on some used ones if you check Facebook Marketplace or eBay or whatever, and then get you a Newmark Scratch. This Newmark Scratch, brand new, goes for about $500, but you can get them used now for probably within the $300 to $400 range. And it is a Serato enabled device that will open up Serato and allow you to DJ with records or time code using Serato. It will allow you to have cue points, control over some of your software effects. It will have a filter. It has XLR and RCA connections for output, so you can walk into a professional environment and not have to worry about how are you going to connect to their house system, because you have options. And you can, like I said, you can also play your regular vinyl. So that's a great entry point. Anything, I don't really think there's anything less expensive than that mixer right now that'll get you in. There used to be the Akai AMX, which I used for a very long time. You see it in the videos if you look through the history. But this is a Serato enabled MIDI device or controller, and I can use this with my range 12s. I can use this with my turntables. It's just discontinued. It's not a current piece of hardware, but it does still work exactly as it was designed, and it will work with the current version of Serato DJ that's out right now. So this thing was like, I think 200 when it was out in production, but you can find them used on eBay. I love it. It's a great little option for me if I have some place where I know it's going to be cramped and all I really need to do is be able to have my decks. Then I can bring this device and my decks, because you have the option to switch these strips to your cue points. So you will have cue point modes or cue points available, because this doesn't have it, but it's a great option as well if you can find it. And then from there, if you have a little bit more money, then you can look into a bigger mixer like a 70 or a 72 or a Pioneer S9, S11, and S7. So yeah, that's my answer to your question. I hope this video wasn't too long. Remember, if you are finding value in these videos, if you like what I'm saying, you want me to keep doing them, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, go ahead, comment, share the video, do all that stuff so we can keep the channel growing. Thank y'all for checking out the videos, and be on the lookout for the next one. This is your boy Logistical Styles, and I am out.